Yeah, it depends on like he can point them out to you, and the vision isn't great. But Kree rolled a 26, so he can describe them to you pretty accurately. So I don't think that'll matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's probably history in this
What are
case.
the odds that? Okay, is this like
Shit.
Yeah,
Really?
even
What?
just knowing if these things were there before the invasion would be very helpful.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, and a history check would totally tell you that as well.
The
Oh,
one
okay.
time that history comes up.
Yeah.
The one every single time I always ask you, can I roll history instead of Arcana?
Well, you always deal with magical things. It's just always Arcana. Okay, 16 is pretty good. Jericho, I think first of all, you do not recognize what these are. But you don't recognize them also because they were definitely not here before. Like they're definitely a new addition to the palace. Having seen the palace probably from like the walls at some point in your childhood as you ate a piece of stale bread. You probably like looked at the palace a lot as a kid. These do not appear to be anything that you recognize. And with a 16, I think you probably get another little tidbit is the fact that what can I give you here?
any chance that he would have heard something through his order?
Yeah, so I think that that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with that angle. I think that you have heard of devices that are used as kind of like wards that are actually like physically constructed to do such. They probably are so like kind of new and you know tech wise like so kind of.
All right, so he has no idea what the actual technology is, but he can identify it as a
Yeah,
defensive mechanism.
right. Maybe it's a defense of some sort. That is definitely like where I think you would go with it. Which would make sense in this situation is that there's some sort of defenses that.
So yeah, he'll look
can be
that over
activated.
for a second, think through that, and say to Kree that whoever's holding the castle has obviously brought in some new what's the word that I want? Damn it.
Jesus.
Boys?
Not quite,
Religion.
but I don't think it's a religious thing. But yeah, he'll
Machinery. Machinery would
defenses,
be a word.
whatever. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Cuisine.
I have been betrayed by myself.
Cuisine.
Thanks, Hannibal.
Always here to help.
Yeah, some sort of defensive
I'm not sure where they
structure.
got something like that. Does it can I tell anything about who constructed it or how? Does it look like it would have been Norse?
So it looks metallic. It definitely doesn't look Norse. I think that if you would know, like anyone who's on the bleeding edge of technology is going to be one of two people. It's going to be the dwarves, or it's going to be the dwarves, or it's going to be the halflings. Like it's the only people who really
Skaven.
Or Skaven, correct. Skaven are totally an option as well.
Skaven.
But if they were Skaven, I think you can rule out Skaven because there's not the green glow of Warpstone, because all of the things are powered by Warpstone. In fact, that would be even more frightening. I think if you could see Warpstone around it.
I think so.
What isn't more frightening with Warpstone? So, also spinning off of that, as far as dwarves and halflings go, what could we determine from that? Like, would it be reasonable for Jericho to think then that this is something that was acquired via the allies that we just found out they had a little while ago?
Yeah. So the thing about Marienburg, right?
Marienburg, yes.
Is that they're rich. They're loaded. So while they may not make technology themselves as a priority, they could certainly buy stuff like this. Yeah, absolutely. That could be a good train of thought that you had.
Yeah, that is Jericho's thinking. Let's say we have a better idea of just what Marienburg's been getting for them, I suppose. I really have no idea how they work, though. Just that we're going to need to be careful around those.
Yeah, and just like tactically, they're on like the entrances, right? Like that's kind of where their position is on these two balconies that are the only other access points besides like the doors of the building. So
Thank
who
you
knows?
for the help, Jericho. Kree's gonna pass it down the line that anything we do at ranged might not work. If we need to take out these guards, he believes that we need to do it up close.
Okay. Jericho, you have invisibility, right?
Multiple flavors.
Alright. We can turn some heavy hitters invisible and sneak them in close.
All right. Does this need to be sustained or just long enough for the approach?
I'd say just
Stop.
long enough.
Not everything needs to be handled with magic.
Okay.
That might be what
First
these
of
are.
all,
Now
no,
then,
that's
hold on,
exactly the
Kree.
problem. I don't think there's any magic involved in this, or at least not much. If it was, we could just dispel it somehow.
In fact, hold on a second. If there is magic involved in it, just give me a couple minutes.
Are you gonna spend 10 minutes behind the palace just casting?
No, fuck
detect
that.
magic?
I'm going to. Fuck, but wait, hold on. I already used Tides of Chaos.
You did.
So if I use Detect Magic.
Uh-huh.
Do it.
I could blow the whole cover.
Megan makes a good point, though.
It's a valid strategy.
Fuck.
Have you considered do it?
Listen, I'm not even there, so y'all can do whatever you want.
Fuck it. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Detect Magic, casting. Roll on the wild table.
Yeah, roll it. Let's see what
While
happens.
so you're ritual casting it, so we've got 10 minutes, during which time
Wow.
hopefully the rest of the party can pick
No, this is.
our
I'm spending
people
a
for the
spell
approach.
slot. I'm spending a spell slot to do this.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it immediately. So, here's what I think happens. So the spectral shield is not invisible. First of all, so it
Are
may
we far enough away?
it may be discernible. I'll roll a perception check, and they'll need to get pretty high, but they will get a perception check to notice what happens.
Okay.
So the other disadvantage here, Jackson, is you're not within 30 feet of anything.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
You know,
So I'll
it's
turn you invisible and you can approach.
yeah, like as a standard, each floor is 10 feet tall. So even if you were like at the base of the building, you wouldn't be able to detect any magic on these things.
Okay, yeah. Well, if they're at the entrance, then they'll probably only affect the entrance. But yeah.
Well, no. So are you talking about the devices that are up on the balconies? Because they're up on the 4th level balconies, so they're like 40 feet in the air.
Then there's no fucking way I would have been able to see them in the first place.
Yeah. Now you could just teleport up there if you wanted to, but I think that the big thing here is nothing happens to you. Like, you know, you don't immediately get destroyed by whatever these things are. And that might be, in and of itself, more important than...
But in that case, they're probably alarms.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what they are? They are strange devices.
Whatever. I have Detect Magic going. I needed to get it going anyway.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You got 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes to keep it up. No problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to check the other entrances then?
We have a priority. Jordan, if you want to roll that perception check.
Yeah.
But,
let me.
Yes, but Cahill made it explicitly clear that our priority should without doubt be the White Wolf. And he is right. If we don't have the White Wolf, I can be able to rebuild. And if he's as strong as they say they are, he also just didn't look good.
Okay.
We got 19 though. We got 19.
You did get a 19 stealth.
That's why I said.
So you are like, there's a moment where I think you see the two of them. They kind of like look in the direction. You see one of them like with his spear like kind of point. Like, what is that? And like Jackson, you like duck behind a bush, and your spectral shield like kind of is inside of the bush now, and doesn't make you noticeable.
So I look over at Kree. Kree, how good are you with a bow?
Decent as anyone else. What do you have in mind?
I just kind of grin and I'm like, there's two of them. There's two of us.
Might as well try it at this point. What other options do we have? And he looks explicitly at Hannibal.
We have magic. We don't know what those things do yet. For all we know, they don't interfere with magic.
And for all we know, they don't interfere with physical objects.
They look pretty physical to me.
And also, we keep on forgetting something. They aren't posted all around, just on those entrances. Are they posted at the entrance to the cellar?
Nope. They're just on the two balconies.
Can I logic this?
Logic away.
Those are probably only meant to prevent intrusion from those balconies, because they are the only open spots. They're meant to cover up a hole.
Were we not already assuming that?
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we are not getting anywhere. We need to act.
No, I agree. We need to take out those guards, don't we?
Yeah,
Jericho, what about you? How are you good with a bow?
Decent, but I haven't quite got the arm that some others might.
In that case, I have a little bit of repertoire and range.
Yeah, as Aelin says in chat, on the count of 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, who's focusing on who? I'll focus on left.
I'm thinking the idea because I assume Kree, you have a bow on you, correct? Like,
Of course
Not-
I do.
not a simple short bow, like a long bow.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I figured, but I can't figure or assume things until asked. So,
I can actually focus on both of them now that I think about it. So yeah, I'll do
so
that.
yeah, I mean, Kree focuses on one, I focus on another type of deal.
I'll also fire at both at the same time.
There you go. Perfect.
Using my using a quicken.
And Jericho, if you want to help, then you can help. So,
I think maybe
Damn.
I'll hold off to see if we have anything that we need to respond to.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if
There might just be the two of them. There might be others.
so,
Wait. I
Yes.
have a better idea.
Oh, my, we're gonna be
Okay,
here a
so
while.
where exactly are these guards?
So
Like,
you are they are standing at the top of the small like 5-step staircase that leads up to the first level. There do not appear to be guards on the staircase that leads up to the second level, and there do not appear to be guards on the staircase that leads down. But those two guards look directly at the staircase that leads down.
Wait, they're looking at the staircase?
Yeah, you know what? This may be easy. Hold
is there a map?
Understand in this moment that you are not actually this
On
close
the
to
wall?
them. Well, this close to them because you're going to be real
Or-
close to them when I put you on this
Distances
map.
in the map may be larger than they appear.
Right, exactly. But clearly, all of you need to see what's going on, so I will show you.
Sorry, it strikes me as strange that they'd be looking at the staircase and not at. It means that they're expecting him to break out, not other people to break in.
Do you see the scenario now?
They are really close.
Jesus Christ!
Triggered. Straight triggered.
But yes, I
we get it.
Okay, that is the scenario. This leads into the first level. This staircase over here leads into the second level, and this one leads down.
Okay, yeah. So they're that makes a lot more sense because I thought that they were like standing.
Nope.
Like they had their backs.
No,
out
they
to the
appear to be
field.
guarding the first level, not the cellar or the second level.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
You can
me,
see-
I incorporated it as like kind of like the two entrances are next to each other. The staircase
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
type of thing, and they're
'Cause-
standing at the one that leads upwards.
Yeah,
While they're just kind of there, so like you kind of can't just walk without the one dude just turning his head and be like, "The fuck are you doing?" type
Well,
of
yeah,
thing.
kind of, right? It's
Yeah.
sort of still the same scenario. There's the positioning is different.
For
Yeah,
me,
the
what
positioning is
confused me,
different.
what I
Mhm.
thought you meant was that these two were like parallel to each other, so they were just like staring down the cellar.
Gotcha. That
Yeah.
is not the case.
But no, then yeah, let's just. I mean, Kree, what's your other idea? Because
Take them out, huh?
We can just go around them if we want to get into the cellar. If
They
Staring
they're-
down into it.
Yeah, they're staring right there. That's their eyesight.
It's been kind of emphasized for us.
Kree takes his hand and lightly pats on Snocht. Snocht can dig through this.
How long?
I kind of like look at you and I'm like, you do realize that eventually it will perhaps be stone that he'll be digging through, not dirt.
None of these people were with me on the
Nope.
I was
the
there.
western wall, huh?
I was there when Noct literally ate through stone to save me.
Don't worry about the stone.
But
It's just
How long would it take?
how long would it
What?
take, and how loud would it be? We are
Not
100 feet away from him.
It would probably be safer than, who knows, injuring some guards that might call for more help.
You doubt your ability to shoot a bow.
I doubt our ability to kill them with one arrow.
I kind of like look at you and I'm like, I'm going to be firing 2 at 1.
Also, real quick, Dane has gotten to look at them by now, right?
Yeah.
Do they look just normal?
Yeah, they look like normal human guards. They're just standing there at the staircase.
overemphasizing this. Let's just kill him.
Oh shit! I know exactly what to do. I got an idea actually.
Oh my
So-
god.
Let's take another.
So
Guys, it's not that complicated. What the fuck?
I know
So,
it's not complicated. Here's what I think.
just so everyone's aware, I'm actually timing this and adding more and more things the longer it takes you all to develop a plan.
Tick tock.
Okay,
alright.
People,
Kill.
tick
Alright.
tock.
We're shooting. We're
To
shooting.
kill.
Shooting them.
The 2
Yes.
guards that are in there.
Okay, sorry. Shit, they.
Brian shoots
those
one,
two
I shoot
ended the
another.
war.
Jackson does whatever he wants to.
I fucking Eldritch Blast. 1 Eldritch Blast for each.
Yeah, roll it up.
Quickened. Do I get advantage or?
Oh yeah, you all have advantage. They can't see you.
So, we never really got through this. Do I get advantage on all shots or just the first one?
It's
And
just the first one.
Yeah.
in that case, that brings up the other kind of grab I have. If I push somebody away with the first shot, wouldn't that mean I don't have disadvantage on the second and third? It happened
You can forward
earlier
email
where, yeah. Because if we claim that it all happens at once, shouldn't all those shots have advantage? But if only the first one does, I think that in the case where if I'm in melee and I shoot someone, the first beam, if it hits them, would have disadvantage, and when they're pushed away, I would not have disadvantage anymore.
Sure. I don't care. Sounds fine.
Okay, sure. But yeah, so
Okay. Let's go.
sorry, yeah.
Let's go.
So first one with advantage
Mhm.
would have,
Mm-hmm. So here's my
Uh,
shot with
and
advantage.
then second, third, and then the second
So
one.
close to a crit.
Yeah, but then the second one also has advantage because it's firing at a different target, right?
Mm-hmm.
So second one, third.
How many are you firing? Jesus.
I used Quicken so that I could fire a
Oh.
lot at once, so that we could end this quickly,
Okay. And then
so that they're both getting an Eldritch Beam Blast.
I mean, yeah, they were dead like 2 rolls ago.
All right.
Oh.
Low health guards.
So
The guards.
as
Right,
they
guys. Right. Exactly.
as they crumple,
I only fired one arrow. I was supposed to fire two.
as they crumple dead
I think
and
we may
tumble
find
down the
more
stairs,
targets inside.
the group of you, I have to believe that there's that moment where like there's craters in the stone, like the marble wall now from like the Eldritch Blast, like there's arrows sticking out of them like pincushions, and all of you just like look at each other.
Yep.
And Daniela probably says, "That was unnecessary," and just like slowly begins to walk towards the palace.
That's
Yeah.
my girl.
It was
Again,
unnecessary.
Brian.
But it was-
Guys, come on. They were guards. I was like, let's just take care of them real quick. No big deal.
Let's take another 30 minutes to decide how we're going. These are the two people that make us lose the war.
Yeah.
These two guards.
So because you've delayed so long, literally 30 minutes, like literally real time and in game time 30 minutes, to kill these two people, I think that as you're kind of like approaching the staircase, you hear the war horns begin to blow from
And-
Cahill's army.
Also, the next shift comes down, and now we got to spend another 40 minutes trying
Yeah,
to figure
exactly.
out how to deal with this too.
No, but I think that as you all approach and get up close to like the staircases where you're standing, now you're basically like where you are on the map. You begin to see I'm gonna have to move. Well, actually, no, I can just do this. You begin to see a blue glow coming from the two balcony areas.
Me or
Everybody. Oh, it's very visible.
The
And
turrets.
you begin to like the hairs on your arm begin to stand up. You get that kind of tingly feeling on the back of your neck, almost as if there's like a lot of static in the air. And for all of the players' purposes, these appear to be basically Tesla coils, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're basically lightning rods that are like self-powered. And as you approach, you hear a voice that booms over almost everything. It deafens all the rest of the noise that's going on, but it's kind of weird and distorted because it appears to be coming from the other side of the building. And all of you that have heard it before recognize the voice as Anders. And he begins to speak and rally his troops. And I need you all to make me a wisdom saving throw in this moment.
Inspiration. Spending inspiration on it.
It's fine. It's fine. Good inspiration, Jackson.
It was?
God damn it.
First one's Kree, second
So-
one's knocked.
I'm really debating whether I want to use my inspiration now or not.
Do it. You see how we turned out.
Yeah, I'll use it. I'm probably gonna roll shit for. Yep, I rolled shit anyways. God.
Holy wow.
Oh my
God.
All right. So
this is how my game's gonna
so
go.
basically,
Jordan, you bastard.
was it Kree and then knocked? This only applies to PCs too. I'm not worried about
Yes.
rolling for the NPCs in this.
Yes,
So-
it's Kree and
so-
knocked.
All of you,
Oh.
except for knocked,
Lol.
begin. Your bones feel like they are rattling inside of your bodies. Your teeth begin to chatter, and you feel this dull cold drift over you. You feel like your hairs that were standing up, you feel like there's this dampness on your skin, and you feel like frost is beginning to form around you. And you try and shake your head and get out of it, and you realize, I think you all realize, that you are all afraid. You are terrified in this moment of what's going on, and it is an effort to take another step forward. As this very defiant, very boisterous voice thunders out over the palace grounds. And you all probably take the moment and gulp, and after that moment occurs and the voice settles, you hear the devices, they crackle like, and you see that this electricity is kind of arced into the air and appears to be like, kind of, if you ever seen like any like the pictures of like the Tesla coils, there's like, and you see that they're like the lightning arcing into the air and stopping at a certain distance. And you see that they begin to form this barrier over top of the palace. And as it begins to kind of fall, it interlaces through some of the floors of the palace. You can see it kind of coming out certain points of the windows and like kind of arcing up into the next floor. And it creates this sort of barrier that is now engulfed the palace in this weird kind of arcing lightning that is appearing. Now, this obviously causes issues inside, which you'll find out later what it might be doing. But it also kind of, it doesn't lock you in. You could obviously just turn around and walk away, but it does add a sense of urgency. You all feel as though you are compelled that you need to move on with your mission at this time.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that the scene, the way that we see that kind of is from a distance, because we see Aelin, who has. Did you take your mount? Did you take Shadowfax 2.0?
Yes.
Okay. So we see you riding this pale white stallion, or mare. I can't remember if it's a stallion or a mare. We see you riding this pale white horse through the Great Park, right? Because that's where you went to go. Because your intention was to go to the large lake that is centered in the Great Park area.
Mm-hmm.
And
where Snocht was born.
Yeah.
Sure.
So as you kind of like turn, Shadowfaxina, how's that? Begins to kind of like toss her bridle a little bit and kind of rears up just ever so slightly, and you have to like pat her neck to calm her down. Whatever it is in the air, you can feel it even from this distance. You feel that like faint tingling on the back of your neck. And you feel like it's kind of that weird, like if your sinuses have ever cleared, you get that kind of like popping almost in your sinuses. It's a very strange feeling. And as you witness this, you feel a presence begin to form behind you. And as you turn back around, you see the water is beginning to kind of bubble and churn in the lake that you're standing next to. And as it does, you see a figure begin to rise from it, but it's not perhaps the form that you were anticipating. It is not the lady in black as you know her, but it is indeed your sister as you remember her, that rises from the lake and floats just ever so slightly above it. And as her eyes are closed and her hands are kind of limp at her side and she's dripping with all this water that's kind of running down her skin but doesn't seem to touch her, she looks up at you and her eyes open and you can see that she is crying. And when that happens, I'm assuming that it strikes a chord with you in some way. What is your reaction to like that visual as that occurs?
I think from on Aelin's horse, she immediately dismounts and slowly walks towards the spectral image that she sees in front of her, and she's just shaking her head and just crying.
Yeah. And as you like, do you wade out into the water? Because she's in like the center of the lake.
Yeah, I start walking towards her.
Yeah, so you get about waist deep in the water out to where she is, and the lake is, it's not, calling it a lake is generous. It's more like a pond. it probably would at no point come past your shoulders, even for as short in stature as Aelin is. And as you get about halfway out and you're about waist deep in the water, the tears like kind of stop, and your sister, she looks at you, and she begins to smile, almost in joy, because she's recognized you now. She sees you. But the smile unfortunately turns malevolent, and you see great black wings beginning to form out of her back. And you hear a laughter that is very much not your sister's. It is very much the Lady in Black. And it simply just says, you always were too easy. And as you begin to like blink through the tears, the spectral image of your sister before you has now formed fully into the Lady in Black, and probably more so than anyone else has ever seen before. Her wings stretched full in the night, and the moonlight kind of reflecting off them of the raven black feathers that kind of coat them. And while she doesn't beat them to stay aloft, she simply just kind of hovers there. And I think that before anything happens in that, the rest of that scene, there is a woman's hand that reaches out of the water that very much doesn't belong to the Lady in Black, but it's pale and almost greenish in tinge. And in its grasp, it holds the hilt to a sword. It doesn't have a blade on it, it's just the hilt. And as it holds it up, you see your sister, or the Lady in Black, bends down. She reaches for the hilt, and as she holds it in her hand, we see shadows begin to weave in this waving pattern that we recognize very quickly as the flamberge, right? And it becomes as long as a 1.5 or 2-handed sword. And your sister takes it in both of her hands, and she simply says to you, "Let us end this." And what is your reaction to that?
At that, Aelin's eyes immediately go gold.
Yeah.
And the wings sprout from her back, and she begins to rise out of the water.
Yeah, and so we see like the shadow and the light begin to do battle in the lake. While I assume we see the group of you begin to descend into the cellars, right? That would be the next step. So, as you peer down the staircase, you can see that there's torchlight kind of flickering up from below, and it appears that there are like quite a few supplies, like boxes, crates, barrels, and stuff that are at the base of the stairs. And then it takes a very hard left turn, and then that leads into like what you can tell is a more open area, or like where all the light is coming from. So what's the marching order down the staircase?
I'll lead the way with my dark vision.
Okay. I'm asking this because I'm putting you on the map. So it's important to know what order you're in.
Kree is gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on the party.
Okay.
Good call. Jericho will take the rear guard.
I'll be right after him.
Is Noct with you, or is Noct going to be behind, or where is Noct positioned in this? Because you're going like into a cramped underground cellar. Probably not useful to ride him in.
Not useful to ride him, but it is his kind of habitat, so he'll just be behind me.
Okay.
Or he'll be behind Jericho.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be like guarding the top of the stairs, basically.
Rear guard. I said I was rear guard.
He likes you behind Jericho. It's fine.
He is a large lizard creature with a great many teeth.
It's now a snake. Like
Also might be venomous now. It's kind of.
And also, we don't know this, but it ate a person.
Still don't know that.
Again, that is
Thanks for the
speculation.
reminder, Jackson.
That's pure and unadulterated
Always here to help.
speculation.
Anyway, I guess Jericho will just deeply regret this fact, but he's certainly not going to stop Noct. Sorry, Snocked.
Yeah. Not break the lore. Danielle will take up a position in the middle because I assume Morella is also in front with Hannibal.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you all begin to descend the stairs, you get down about halfway, and you can Jackson, since you're in front, why don't you roll me a perception check?
Would I get advantage because I have dark vision?
No, it has to do with hearing.
Okay, Dane's also with me.
That's totally fair.
So here's mine.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't need Dane, do I?
No, you're fine. You hear the sound of a roaring fire. Like it sounds too big to be like a hearth fire. But probably not like a giant bonfire or anything. But you sense nor see nor smell any smoke or anything that would not be related to like a normal torch. But this is very clearly like beyond the burning of a torch.
Guys, hold on. I hear the roaring of a fire. Not a hearth fire, but not a bonfire.
Thanks for the update. Keep moving.
Yeah, I say exactly what you say.
Okay. Yeah. So as you get down the staircase and you round the corner, you see what the source of the sound is. There appears to be a large, man, it can only be described as like a barrier of flame that exists just off to the hallway. And as you round the corner as well, Dane, I assume you've sent like kind of up ahead a little bit at least.
He's always a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, so he rounds the corner just before you and like informs you that there's this large fire. And as you round the corner as well, he probably says, "There's someone here."
Does my detect magic detect anything?
The fire is very clearly evocation magic.
Okay, and looking around, do I see anybody?
So as you gaze around with your 21 perception, you do see there are quite a few people who are kind of tucked in behind supplies. There's a couple people who are like sitting on benches. There are quite a few like guardsmen down here.
They're guardsmen, okay. Specific.
Yeah. You see some of them carry like lighter armor and are armed with bows. Some of them have swords and shields. Some of them had spears. And this is just you like peeking around the corner, basically.
All right, so I inform the rest of the party, and I say, we don't need to kill them. They all look human, right?
Yep, they are all human.
We don't need to kill them. We just need to show that we can.
Isn't stealth kind of the point?
There's a wall of fire. What are we going to do?
Dispel it.
That's right. We do have that.
Mm-hmm.
Dispel it stealthily.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I know what I'm doing.
Actually, I can actually do that. I have subtle
That's good
spell.
to hear, Hannibal. I'm glad you can do that.
I was speaking out of character there, but okay.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I can just imagine this conversation happening.
Does seem like a Hannibal thing to say, I will admit.
All right, sure, whatever. But how many are there?
Rough count, maybe like 15.
15. If they're pushovers like they were upstairs, we could take care of them. But do we need to be entirely stealthy at this point? The march has already started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the walls are being assaulted
Fair
at this
enough.
very moment.
Speed then.
Yeah, so we come in, we kill a few,
Okay.
give them the choice of just saying, either stay here or die. You literally make no difference.
I like how you've all have learned from your previous encounter that maybe you should just like run in and kill some people.
Yeah, we just run in, kill someone, kill some people, and be like, we can kill you all in 5 seconds flat. Like, this will be over in a round.
We're very quiet while running there, though.
Quick question: Are we still affected by fear in any way?
No, that was simply a temporary effect just to see who was affected by who was rattled by Anders' booming voice. Everyone.
Except
Spoilers,
for the animal.
everyone.
Like to consider here for a moment, he is probably the greatest paladin in all of the land, so his charisma scores probably even higher than a 20 if we're being fair.
He's at the book rank.
Yeah. He's up there. So you all charge around the corner, and I think that like there's this moment where like they all look at you, and you all look at them, and then there's the battle cry that occurs, right?
I just go before all that happens. I just say, "You could just leave. You aren't a threat."
Okay, perfect. They all look at each other, and then they look at you and charge. Like,
all right, sure.
Yeah, that I think is exactly how that goes.
Last, like 3 of them.
Yeah. So let me move everybody over here, so you can see the scenario in which you are in.
Okay.
So you can see the wall of fire as described before, to the west there. You can see that there are plenty of guardsmen and stuff that are on like this upper level platform. There's also this guy who appears to have rank on him, like he's wearing like a more well-off coat. And there's also, you can see that there are a couple of archers that are kind of positioned back and around here. So there you go. It's your scenario as it is. For those of you that can't see it, is because there's a wall there. You'll see it soon enough. But I think that's probably a great time for us to for me to remove all turns. Good. For us to roll initiative. Everybody, including Aelin,
Okay.
being also involved in combat.
Also, you forgot Dane.
Okay, so
good
I've
point.
been designated as the will for this session, so y'all enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, it's clear
Thanks for
that
bearing that one for us.
it's clear that.
Don't have
Oh, fair point. You know what? I will put you. Hold on. I can fix this. Hold on.
Yeah. Also, can I have control of the monk?
No.
Uh-huh.
So, let me put you on a different map, even because you're not there. You're fighting off.
That's gonna be a good time.
All right. Let me get the lady in black here.
Let's just hope that the rest of my good rolls, the ones that I can actually make, with, plus 40 bajillion, I can actually do well with.
Is her token? You don't have a token.
No, it's a crit.
When was the last time I used her? Oh, here. Let's see. Hold on, we're getting everything set up here. Because I have to make some rolls as well, and then we'll see where that all ends up.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There you go, Aelin. You're inside of the darkness.
Great.
Oh, but also, hold on. Hold on. Let's be fair. Let's get your other token as well.
Yeah.
Just to be
True.
Just to be completely 100% fair here. Oh, there we go. So let me roll some dice here.
Please.
Into this guy first.
I realize now this is why we need Will. Because otherwise, someone else is going to have to take the shit rolls.
As long as someone's tanking the dice.
Yeah,
That's not me.
Exactly. Good way to say it. As long as someone is tanking the dice.
You need to get our odds up.
It's not automatically changing. That's weird.
That 20 on initiative, Jericho.
Thanks. It took a lot of skill on my part.
Hey, 5% is 5%.
Practicing for weeks.
It feels like it happens to you a lot, Jericho. Like a lot for initiative.
Oh, that's just because Jericho is better than everyone else. That's nothing to do with me.
Obviously.
Fair point.
Who got the 19? Ah, the commander did.
Yes, he did.
Archer's got that.
That's a lot of initiatives.
3.
Good.
Oh, that's 4. Okay.
Good. And then these guys.
Oh, I can't even see those guys.
Because they matter too. This category. Did I put him in the animal category? What did I do? Did. Apparently. No worries. Let's roll for them. Cool. Awesome. So, with all of my initiatives done, let's go ahead and... Oh, wait. Hold on. One more initiative.
I can't
very
even
important
see
initiative.
2 of them, so that makes me worried.
Very, very important initiative is the Lady in Black. Let's see how well she does. Black.
Oh.
Oh, okay, good.
Of course she gets a. Ah.
Let's sort descending, and I think that this is probably the best time to take a break.
Please.
And when we come back, Jericho Tannheiser
Is casting haste on somebody.
is going to work. Let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Going to work. So, why don't we take just a flat up 10-minute break? We'll be back at the top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Yeah, top of the hour. Stop. See y'all then. Okay, we're going to take a quick little break. Stay tuned for the second half coming up very, 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 very shortly. In just about 9 minutes. Stay tuned.